Hello everyone, welcome to day 7 of Prelims Rescue series. In this video, we are going to cover some of the topics related to oceanography and we are going to cover some of the topics of February current affairs of 2024, and in that we are going to cover some of the topics related to economy and international relations. Now let's start the discussion. Basically, the north of the equator tend to have the highest oceanic temperature. Okay, north of the equator. Let's understand the concept. Why does the north of the equator receives highest oceanic temperature? So basically, this is the equator, this is Earth, this is the equator. We know that the northern hemisphere contains the highest land surface area compared to the southern hemisphere. And one thing we need to remember is that the southern hemisphere has a less land, so ocean percentage is more, and the land's specific heat capacity is lesser compared to the water. That means land gets heated up faster than the oceans. So the definition of specific heat capacity is the energy required to increase the temperature of any object by 1 degree Celsius. So that is the definition of specific heat capacity. Now let's see the concept. So basically, as the land has a lowest specific heat capacity, the land in the northern hemisphere gets heated up faster, as it has a largest land mass. The ocean also gets warms up faster and it also gets increase in temperature because the land transfers its energy to the ocean, and the ocean also gets warms up. That's why the northern region or the northern hemisphere towards the north of the equator has the highest oceanic temperature compared to the south of the equator. And also basically the northern hemisphere is basically warmer than the southern hemisphere. This thing we need to remember. And next thing is the temperature contrast between continents and oceans is greater during winter compared to the summer. The temperature contrast is nothing but the temperature difference between continents and ocean. This is why, because during the summer season there is a high insolation. So due to the high insolation, lands get heated up faster, and it also lands get heated up faster, and also the sun insolation happens for a large amount of period of time, and the water will also get heated up. So there is a less contrast or less difference between land and water. But during the winter season, what happens is there is a less insolation and the lands get heated up fastly. Water has the highest specific heat capacity. That means it get heated up very slowly. But during the winter season, land also have the capacity that it releases the heat very faster, so it becomes cooler during the winter season very fastly. But as the specific heat capacity of water is very low, it stores the energy, and the water or the oceanic part is warmer during winter compared to the summer. And also in winters, ocean has the highest temperature compared to the continents. In summers, continents has the highest temperature compared to the oceans, and in winters both or the continent become cooler and waters or oceans are warmer. But in summer both are warmer, so that's why the temperature contrast is highest during the winter but lowest during the summer. Now let's try to understand the highest salinity. Salinity is nothing but the amount of salt content in the water. So the highest salinity is in the region of subtropical central gyre. Subtropical central gyre is between the 20 degrees to 30 degrees north and southern latitude. Let's see how it looks like. So this is the earth and this is the equator. Basically this is the 20 degrees latitude and this is the 30 degrees latitude of south and north. So this is the region where that is called the subtropical central gyre. Basically this experiences highest salinity because here the evaporation is highest but the rainfall is very lowest. That means the water outgoing is good but incoming is not that much good. That means rainfall is not good. That's why there is a highest salinity in this region. So basically we need to remember these things. This all information is in the NCERT physical geography. Now let's see the corals. Corals are nothing but the colorful things which we see in the movies in the marine ecosystem, that are nothing but the corals. So basically they live only in the saline water. I made in the MCQ result, I made a mistake in the exam that they asked that only the coral survive only in the saline water. I thought that it is a wrong, but it only survives in the saline water. So the average PPT which the coral survive is the 32 to 42. PPT is nothing but the measure of saline or the parameter that how much the saline should be. PPT मतलब parts per thousand. In some other question we'll detailedly discuss about corals and how it does and what does mean coral reefs and what is coral bleaching. Let's discuss in some other video. And also we have the oceanic mean temperature. We have the oceanic mean temperature and sea surface temperature. So basically the oceanic mean temperature is the correct parameter to measure the temperature compared to the sea surface temperature, because in the oceanic mean temperature we'll try to record the temperature up to 26 degrees isotherm depth. So isotherm is basically nothing but the joining of the temperature of the areas of the same temperature. So basically isotherm is nothing but joining of the areas of the same temperature by a line is nothing but the isotherm. So we'll go into the depth of a ocean up till where the ocean experiences or has a temperature of 26 degrees Celsius. So this is how oceanic mean temperature is measured. Basically in simple terms it will be around 50 to 100 meters distance. So we are measuring up till the depth of 50 to 100 meters. We are measuring for 50 to 100 meters depth. And also in India the oceanic mean temperature is measured during the month of January to March. It is measured in the southwestern region of India and the distance it covers is 59 meters below the sea surface. Compared to this, the sea surface means the sea surface temperature is nothing but they only measure the temperature of the sea surface. And also we call that is OMT is better than SST because in SST there is a high chances of fluctuations due to the high insolation and the change in temperature of the sea surface due to the wind and also some other factors. But in OMT we go to the depth of the ocean up till 100 meters, up to 100 meters. So that's why OMT is a stable and constant measure of thermal energy of ocean temperature compared to the SST. So now let's see the international relations part. So basically we have an organization called Collective Security Treaty Organization, which has been founded on 2002, and also the treaty was signed during the year 1992. So to establish an organization it took 10 years for it. Basically this organization is or contains the members of the post-Soviet states. that is nothing but the new 6 states or the countries which are the past Soviet states. They are Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan. So we have A, B, K, K, R, T. So basically this is a intergovernment military alliance. This is to counter NATO, this organization. So just remember these names because there is a high chance they might ask in the prelims examination. They might give some 6 nations names, and they'll ask how many of the nation or the countries are present in the collective security treaty organization. So that's why we need to remember these names, that is A, B, K, K, R, T. Armenia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan. So that's it. And also there is an operation Aspides. Operation is Aspides is conducted by European Union in the Red Sea region. This operation is conducted because this is a, for example, this is the Red Sea region, this is the Yemen. So in the Yemen region we have the Houthi rebels. Houthi rebels, this is a terrorist organization which is attacking the ships which are going through this area, and they are looting the things. So that's why the European Union has conducted the operation Aspides. This is a naval mission to counter the Yemen's Houthi rebels of the Yemen, and it occurred at the Red Sea. Next we have the Nordic Baltic Cooperation, and also we call it as a NB8. Basically this is a cooperation between the Nordic and Baltic countries. So in Nordic we have the 3 countries. They are Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. And in Nordic countries we have 5 nations. That is Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark. So these are the 5 countries. Basically we need to remember these all nations of Nordic and Baltic. So for Baltic we have the ELL, that is Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania. And for Nordic we have the INSFD, Ireland, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Denmark. So next we have the economy. So in economy we have the concept of base erosion and profit shifting. This concept is basically where the MNCs of a country will basically try to avoid the tax in a country by changing their locations to some other nation where the tax is low. So by this the the countries which are which have the base generally experiences the loss in the tax revenue. So this is known as a base erosion and profit shifting. Basically to counter this, the OECD, that is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, has launched an instrument, that is a BEPS instrument, that is base erosion and profit shifting, that is to avoid this tax avoidance by the MNCs. And also it is a multilateral instrument, that is nothing but in this instrument mainly most of the countries are participated in this instrument. Okay, next we have the primary agriculture credit, that is the PACS. PACS is nothing but, so we have the PACS, that is nothing but Primary Agriculture Credit Society. So these societies basically provide short term and medium term loans to the farmer. So this only provides short term and medium term, not long term. So this is a thing which we need to remember. It does not provide long term loans. And also it founded during the 1904. So this also we need to remember. Next we have the Financial Stability and Development Council. Basically in this type of questions there is a high chance of asking the chairperson who it is chaired by, because in the question which they asked in my examination, that is in the mock, they have said that the prime minister, and I marked it right, but that is wrong because it is chaired by the finance minister. We can just remember as it is a financial thing, that is chaired by the finance minister, and its duty is to maintain stability and increase literacy and increase inclusion of the people of the nation in the financial development. And also it was implemented by the recommendation of the Raghuraman committee. We also need to remember this committee name because they also might ask the similar type of name like Rangarajan committee. They say that Financial Stability and Development Council is is adopted on the recommendations of the Rangarajan committee, but that is wrong because it is by the recommendation of the Raghuram Rajan committee. And also we have the concept of a hot money. Hot money is nothing but these are the funds where uh, it flows from one country to the another country. Only their only this only motive is to gain profits. So hot money is nothing but the flow of country from one country to the another country, and the motive is the only the short term profit. So this basically they do because there is a exchange rate differences. For example, uh, there is a chance of the depreciation of rupee, then the people in India or the investors think that there is a high chance that we will invest in the dollar so that we will gain higher amount and we will gain short term profit. So that is known as a hot money. So in this definition we need to remember the term the short term profit and the flow of funds. These are the two key terms which we need to remember. And there is a term in interim budget. Interim budget is nothing but a temporary budget when we where we launched or the way the government launched during the period of election for an emergency need up till the elections are conducted. This is the definition of the interim budget. And also in the interim budget the government is not allowed to launch a new policies or program. So this is also one thing we need to remember. And there is a concept of right to disconnect which was launched in the Australia. So basically this right to disconnect is a concept where it is a regulating the employer contact in contacting the employee beyond the work hours. So this is the definition of the right to disconnect. So right to disconnect is nothing but keeping away the employee from employer after the work hours so that the employee may live his peaceful life. So this is the right to disconnect concept which is launched in the Australia. So in examination they also might ask the right to disconnect is a concept recently launched in which country. They may give USA, UK, India, Australia. So the answer is Australia. So that's it guys. If you like the video please do subscribe, and also if you have any suggestions for me please do comment below. Bye.